Greetings, everyone. I want to teach you, train you, help you understand SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. And it's going to be pretty much an intro and pretty basic. But the thing is that most people, many companies, many web designers, many churches, many people don't understand it. And what that means is that number one, people like me that know it really well can charge a whole lot to do it, but in actuality, the basics of it is not really complicated. Therefore, much of your competition or the other websites that show up in Google, most of them don't understand SEO. Therefore, if you can learn this and do some of these basic steps, it will be tremendously helpful for what you're trying to do. Okay? So again, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And all that means is that you're optimizing your website for search engines. Such as, Google is the main search engine, gets, 70, 80% of all searches go through Google. So that's where we're only going to focus. Okay? So if you can make your website optimized for Google, and that is for these specific search phrases that your people who are interested in learning about what you're doing, if you can optimize it for those keywords, then your website will show up in Google. Okay? That's the first step, is to show up in Google somewhere for the particular search phrase. And that's, again, for a lot of search words that are not very competitive, such as a Atlanta charismatic church or a Word of Faith church in California, a Baptist church in Chicago. If you can understand SEO and how to incorporate those terms on your website, it is very likely that you can get your website to show up on the first page in Google. It'll cost you no money if you can fully understand it and integrate these things on your website. So either you or your web designer or your staff IT person, your administrator, it's not really complicated if you can do some basic changes to the back end and front end of your website, and you should be good to go. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and, so again, we're in Google here, and let me show you again what we're talking about. Let's do a Atlanta church. What would I look for? If I was in Atlanta, what kind of church would I want to see? I have no idea. Let's try okay, it's got some ones already. Let's try okay, Atlanta Church of Christ. Let's go ahead and do that. So again, starting, you see, this is our phrase, Atlanta Church of Christ. If you look over here to the right, it says these are the top 10 results of 347,000 different churches for that phrase. And again, here's all the different churches. So the first thing you need to know about SEO is that Google, the way it determines who shows up on the site, is that it will read your website. So this is beginning with your web address. This website is atlantachurch.org. So if somebody wants an Atlanta church, no matter what kind it is, it might show up. And it says the Atlanta Church of Christ. So it is within a denomination. So it's got Atlanta Church of Christ. In this little blue area here, it says Atlanta Church of Christ. And then number 3, and its web address is Atlanta Church. So that's 3 major reasons why Google put this website first. Okay, so let me show you where these things correspond on the website. I'm going to go ahead and click it. Actually, let me click into a new tab. So the first one you already know, which is, it's called atlantachurch.org. And in our phrase, we got Atlanta Church. The first 2 words say Atlanta Church. So if you can or want to get a .com or .org or .net or whatever name that relates to the keyword phrase that's most important, that definitely will help. Okay. Number 2, there's this link you click here. Let's see where that is on the website. We go here. This is the website, Atlanta Church. This is a graphic. It's got all this information here about it. But if you look way up top at the top of your browser, in Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever, you'll see up here it says Atlanta Church of Christ : welcome. And this part that's on the actual website is the same text here. And when it comes to SEO, that is a title tag. I mean, as far as HTML, that is a title tag. So if I go here, and you can right click a web page usually, and then click to view the source of the site, and you can kind of see the back end of the HTML aspect. But the only thing that makes any difference is this here. That title, it says title. It says Atlanta Church of Christ : welcome. And that title that they put in the back end code is the same as this link. Therefore, all these titles that you can click to get to the website, the reason where Google gets this information from your actual website. Okay, and there's usually a different title. You can put, one title for every page of your website. Okay, so the title, that's a title tag. Okay. Number 2, there's this description here that says in December 2006, the Atlanta Church of Christ completed a 2-year transformation from a single legal entity. And normally on a website, Google will get that information also from the back end, and it's called a meta description. And on this website, they actually do not have a meta description. So again, don't worry about it. It's too technical. If you don't understand it, it's not showing up here. Okay, but the main thing is that Google picked up that information from the actual web page because they had no meta description. Therefore, if you're working on your website and you have the opportunity to add a description, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's some HTML text. You've got your title, which you could put Atlanta Church of Christ, and then there's this thing called meta description, and within that tag you're going to put Atlanta Church of Christ, pastored by Elder Sean Kenny or whoever, just making up a name, blah 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 blah. Whatever you put in this description is going to show up in here. Let's try this. Let's go to the second one, and it's the same website, and it's going to the ministries page. Let's go down to find one that was probably, because again, this is what I'm saying, most people don't understand this, so Google is going to have to make up some information by reading their website, because the web designers didn't know that they needed to put something in there specifically relating to their the church. Let's try this one. This one might be right. It says stonemountainchurch.org. It's in Atlanta Church of Christ. And let that finish loading. Again, we just wait for that to finish loading. But again, the main thing is that you can see here is that this is going to be that title tag in HTML. Whatever you can make up. In other words, anything that you want to show up in Google for people to click on, you can determine that by whatever you want it to be, because it's going to be the title of your actual page. And then the description here, you can make up anything you want, and Google will put that right here for the whole world to see. Before they even click on your website, people will know what this information is. Okay? Let's go back. So now this website is finished, and this is the Atlanta Metropolitan Christian Church, And go back down here. It's stonemountainchurch.org. Welcome to the Stone Mountain Ministry. Let me see if that information is on the page or it's actually on the back end in the code. And welcome to the Stone. Oh no, Atlanta. I don't think I see it anywhere, so let's look on the code. And we right click, go to view page source, and the meta name, meta there. Okay. Still looking. Okay, yeah, it's actually, it might be dynamically generated somewhere else, but I don't even see that information on here anywhere. Actually, let me actually show you something outside of the, not a church or one of my clients, as far as my consulting business. And this client, it goes for the search phrase, was it TOSA Pest Control? I want to show you an example of what you can do if you really understand it. So here's my client right here, okpestcontrol.com. And first unique thing in the search phrase is, again, TOSA Pest Control. That's where I want him to show up at. You got all these businesses here. The first option is here, which they happen to own, tosapestcontrol.com. The number 2 option is my client. And you see $10 to $100 off TOSA Pest Control, TOSA Exterminator, and other things. Then here it says Guardian Angel Pest Control is a TOSA Pest Control Exterminator service that sends pests to their eternal rest. Number 1 in TOSA Pest Control. So anyway, what you notice here is that my client knew that they, for some reason, couldn't get the number 1 spot, probably because these people here owned the actual search phrase, TOSA Pest Control. So we wanted to do something that would catch people's attention. Number 1, in your title tag, you always want your search phrase, such as TOSA Pest Control, in your title tag, and you want the information within the description of the website, which is that meta description. And I'll go back here to show you again. This is a simple, what it looks like. Meta name, description, contents equals, and most websites going to have this default, but it's probably not going to be filled in unless you put something in there. And so I just mainly wanted to show you what you can do if you want to stand out amongst all these other people who just have TOSA Pest, Yellow Pages, just generic information, company name, blah 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 blah. But this one actually says 10 to $100 off, and that will catch people's attention to actually go to the website than just generic information. Again, number 1, these numbers kind of stand out a bit. So again, his website is very basic. It's a simple website. But again, you look at the top here in the title tag. Again, there it is right there. $10 to $100 off. TOSA Pest Control, TOSA Exterminator, TOSA Pest Control, Terminite Pest Control by Guardian Angel. So there's that phrase that I really wanted to show up in the search engines. Number 2, and I think they've got, okay, here it is. And if you look in their meta description, there it is right there. There's a description. Guardian Angel Pest Control is a TOSA Pest Control Exterminator service. So there's that description. We also have, there's one other aspect of on the meta tags, that's the keywords. And if you again, if you either give this to your IT person or on the back end of your website, if you have a content management system like Joomla or WordPress, things like that, you can also fill in the description and the keywords yourself, again, without doing anything without getting into all this weird code as far as what a programmer would see. But you should be able to type in search or keywords, which normally you're going to do key phrases. You got TOSA Pest Control, Bixby Pest Control, Jinx. These are all the local cities that he wants to show up in. So there's this description. So there's 3 main areas. There's a title, there's the description, and there's the keyword that you can control quite easily And if you just spent a little bit of time, and if you added and put the accurate information about what you're doing, such as Atlanta Church of Christ, Atlanta Church, ATL Church, you know, it could be, what am I thinking of, contemporary, or it could be a non-denominational church, Atlanta, you know, things like that you want to put in the keyword area. That helps the search engines know what your website is talking about. The description also helps search engines know, but not only search engines, but the actual people who search for your information. The description actually shows up in search engines. So that's why I like those two so much. The title tag here and then your description, both of those things will always show up in Google for whatever you're searching for. Okay, we're going to take a break and we will cover some more things on the next video.